Hey, you guys. It's time to come on in for some tea. Because the tea is good. We've got a lot to talk about. Hi, surviving.
What's up?
Nothing much. Got a lot to talk about today. So just gonna wait till we get some other folks in. See how things go.
Yeah, I'll start sharing right now.
Awesome. Hi, Seer. Hi, B. And Isella, Ken, Jeffrey. I think it's Lustry. Dean, Tim and Ghost. Hi, that's a cool name. Sissy, Sandy, Holly, Tita, Texas. Thank you for coming on in and dropping by, Carol. And green eggs. Green eggs and ham. Hey, Manda Panda. Hi, Marmy. Hello, hello, Hopeful America. And Carmen. Don't mute Sush. And Wendy. Hello, hello, hello. Hot Queen Elizabeth. Wow. Okay. Rap 2007, Autumn, Darkwing Girl. That reminds me of Darkwing Duck. Hey, fam fam. Thank you. So, I'm gonna give it like 2 minutes and then we're gonna go ahead and start because I want to get some things out of the way and have people asking questions as much as possible. Thank you, Surviving, so very much. I'm gonna learn how to do this one day, but I think that's it, right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Hi, Tanya and Indy and Atticus. Cautiously. Yes, cautiously optimistic. Brittany and Carrie and Lamone, Maddie, Moose Nook. Okay. Mama, J Fitz, Killer, Ronald, JJ57, Xena, Apple user. Okay. Doris, Lori, K Beasley, Jamma, Pumpkin. All right. So we are going to be talking about um, the Green Party, of course, um, but what we have going up, such as events that are happening where you might be able to attend. One of the biggest events that is coming up, as we know, is the same day, I believe, the inauguration and Martin Luther King Day. So there are scheduled to have events happening in DC and in major cities across the US. Um, in North Carolina, I know for sure they're doing one at Moore Square in Raleigh on the 20th at 3 p.m. Now, how would you get this information? Well, um, the actions for the information. Hi, Cosmo. Thanks for coming in. Um, the information is definitely out there. You can type in January 20th liberation, and you will get the information that you need, especially to someplace closer to you. I tried to put it on the screen, but the screen was just not screening with me, so I was unable to do so. Um, so that's kind of what happened there. Um, but there are going to be January 20th events. There are also going to be January 19th events, but those are a little harder to find. that I've seen, in my opinion. And I don't want to report on something that um, okay, I think Survivor said it. There's a call to action for January 19th. It's called for universal health care. Okay, could you explain more about that, Survivor?
So what it is it's um, a group of people that call themselves the Adjusters. Um, they're just doing a call to action. You can find them on TikTok, YouTube. I believe they might be on Facebook as well, but for sure TikTok and YouTube under that name, the Adjusters. And they're just this first call to action is just for universal health care, and it's not calling for extreme acts or anything like that. From what I've seen, it's green level um, actions where you're just getting out with signs and showing people you're there.
Okay, so Survivor had the information. And that's what we are going to be going with, because I think we went to that live together and got some of the information. So thank you so very much for looking into that for me and giving that information back. So there are different things that are going on. Um, uh, am I back now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. My son was calling me back to back, and I just had to make sure I let him know what was going on. So I'm going to get some of the things that have been going on in North Carolina that we're going to be talking about. And I have put out a video asking for other states. So if you are in another state and you have information about your state, I would definitely like for you to come up and give that information out. But I'm in North Carolina, so I know a lot about what's going on in North Carolina. Um, so I'm just going to talk about some of the things that we do have going on. We have a community book sale and authors reading for Gaza Aid. It's at the Ruma building, which is the Raleigh United Mutual Aid Hub. That's what it is. Sorry, I couldn't remember what it is. Mutual Aid Hub. We've done several good things with them during the Michael Dublin campaign, when we were collecting food goods and clothing items, toiletries, and things like that. Before we knew that the hurricane was going to come through, we were going to try to give to the homeless and stock the pantries for the food pantries for the upcoming winter months. And then the hurricane came through and decimated so many people. So we were like, okay, we're going to give them here, give them there, because everybody's going to need help at this point in time. So Ruma is where we would drop that donation off to in order for it to be able to get to where it needed to go. They had big trucks and things like that in a warehouse, and they still do have those operations going on. So if you are in the Triangle area and you were wondering how you can still help the people in Western North Carolina, because believe it or not, they still need help. They are still finding unalive persons. Things are still bad there. So if you would like to help by giving, you can look up RUMA. It is the Raleigh United Mutual Aid Hub. I don't believe they're on TikTok at all, but I do know that they're on Instagram, and that will definitely help them continue to help the people of Western North Carolina who really need our help right now, especially with this cold season that is upon us. It is very cold beyond belief. Um, so that is on the 12th of January, and also on the 12th of January, And that was from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. that they're going to be doing the book sale and author reading. So the author reading part of that is going to be Diaries of a G-Side. So that's going to be a reading and discussion, and that will start at 12 p.m. So really, really interested in that. Room is a really comfortable and welcoming space. So people who come in will definitely feel at home once they get there. There is also a concert and art market on January 11th from 12 to 5 p.m. And this is at the pub headquarters, 3801 Hillsborough Street, number 113 in Raleigh. So they're asking, it's like a sliding scale. So they're not asking you to do much in the donation area, but they are asking if you can to donate for the concert and art market. Then we have what you see behind me, and this is NC Pally. It's the inaugural Roots of Resilience campaign, a night for community building during one of the most important times of the year, the olive harvest season in Palestine. January 25th, 8:30 p.m., the Palm Venue and Catering, and that will be at 740 Southeast Maynard Road in Cary, North Carolina. What they are asking for, I don't know if you can see it. Get your tickets now at ncpally.org, and they are $50. They're starting at $50. So if you were wondering how you could help there, that is also available. I hope to be able to go to this one because whenever they put on banquets, the food is so wonderful. And I genuinely enjoy it so much. So it's always great to have. And then the last one that I do have is the Work for Liberation, WERK for Liberation. It is a drag show for Palestine. Yes, you heard that right. And I am so going. You can't even stop me. This is going to be February the 8th. It's also going to be at Ruma, and there's a $20 cover charge. So I have not gone to a drag show for Palestine before, but I am definitely going because I think this is very great so that people can understand. I saw something the other day. I think Freedom said it, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody was saying that if you are homosexual, then when you go to Palestine, they're going to unalive you. And she was saying, no. She was like, yeah, you're going to get alive, but it's not by the Palestinians. It's not real. So she was like, they're not doing anything to anybody right now. We're trying to survive. It's not real. It's the one that is taking all of these things and doing all these horrible things. So come on, let's be real about that. And from all the accounts that I have seen, all the firsthand knowledge of the things that I've seen, thank you so very much. Thank you. From all the knowledge that I have seen, this is not a problem anywhere in Palestine. It becomes a problem when Israel steps in and tries to do certain things. So we all know how that works. But so for January and into February, here in North Carolina, we have thank you so very much. We have some really big things going on where we'll be attending and making sure that we take care of our different communities that we have here. And getting that aid. Thank you so very much. Your boy, Moki. Thank you so very much. So those are some of the things that we have going on. in North Carolina. So, surviving, what do you have going on your way?
So my local chapter, we're gonna be getting involved in it's a legislative conference put on yearly here, um, and that's gonna be on the 25th of this month. And then a lot of us are also trying to get over to the Worker Strike Back event and Jill Stein event, the weekend of the 22nd of February.
Mm.
So that's really what we're doing. We're just still trying to build more local chapters and expand um, our reach in our state.
Okay, awesome. Sounds very awesome. Amanda, how about you?
I'm so sorry. I was not paying attention for a moment because I'm trying to figure out dinner with my son. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. What do you have going on in your state? Any events that you have going on with your state party or any events that you plan on attending?
Oh, honey, I could not even tell you. I'm so sorry. This is why I actually didn't even mean to join up. I'm so sorry. I've been just trying to uh, be able to pay my rent for the last couple of weeks. I've been very distracted as a result of that. I apologize.
Oh, do
It's
you
embarrassing because I wish I was able to pay more attention right now, but I'm genuinely check to check at the moment, and it's very it's been a time.
you don't have to apologize. It's life out here. We are all doing the same thing. I promise you don't have to apologize. And I just thank you for being here as it is. Even if you're just like, okay, my attention is focused somewhere else, just being here is wonderful for me because that means that you care enough to be here with me. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm always gonna come in and listen to you. I wish I had more to add right now. I really do.
It is absolutely fine. You're fine. So, um, with everything that we have going on, we do have a lot of things leading up to the inauguration that are very pressing, and we are seeing it a lot more. We've all been living kind of that paycheck to paycheck life, um, and then it comes around where paycheck to paycheck is not gonna make it anymore. So we will start thinking about other things. And the other week we were talking about um, universal basic income. So, and the universal health care. The Green Party supporting faces. I don't even know if that's a word. Um, so I will check your source. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you think they're suddenly going to become? What do you think the goodness gracious, I'm getting a headache. What do you think they're suddenly going to become Green Party after like the Taliban did? Um, I probably think I'm gonna go off that you meant to do this in good faith. Um, and I'm just going to answer your question as much as I understood it to the best of my abilities. Um, I don't believe you know what you're talking about. I'm gonna start there. And um, in America, we have a uniparty. So if we have a uniparty at the top and the people don't want the uniparty, they want something else. So we are one of the other parties, not just the only one, but there's the Libertarian Party, there's PSL, there are other parties that they can join if they feel so inclined to. But we talk about Green Party things over here. So that's what makes us different. And there is no want of us to set up a puppet government. That is something that the US has been doing for years and years and years. So, um, it takes a lot of time for people to understand and completely come out of it after you've been in the shadow for so long. Um, I'm gonna just let survive and see the comment. We are pro Pally, as you can see, NC Pally, Inaugural Roots of Resilience Banquet. Um, so this is during the normal or olive harvest season. Um, and surviving is right. The only fastest here is not real. And we don't like it's not real because they are like Narnia. So we don't like Zios. We don't have anything against any juice because I can't say the other word. So I'm not sure where you're getting what I'm saying from and what your stance might be. And that's why I said I think you're trying to do this in a, hey, who does target political opposition for their right? Would you like to come up and talk? Because if you would like to just come up and talk, we can do that. I don't know what you, there's no good faith from this one. Okay, Cosmo. Okay. Well, I will leave it at that. So yeah. And Surviving said, he's out of there. Sometimes you get people who genuinely don't know, and then sometimes you get people who are just wanting to argue, and it's, I don't, the arguers, they're just, I sometimes I just think they just don't understand, and they have been lost and wrapped in their own mind, and as long as they're not bothering my spirit, I'm fine with it. But some the people that actually want to learn, I love that. I don't think that was in any good intention to do that. So I did see a couple of folks come in. I think Suhair came in and Fahad came in. Thank you so very much for being here. But this is why we have to talk about the Green Party, because so many people don't understand or know about the Green Party. So if you don't understand, hi Polly. So if you don't understand what the Green Party is, you don't know where their politics lie, you never heard of the Green Party, then you can make all sorts of things up about the Green Party. There are some that just want to be disruptors. Your platform has always been for knowledge. Thank you. Yes, it has been. And that's why I always say ask questions, because we want to make sure we're getting that taken care of to bring that knowledge to you. So it's not a matter of sometimes ignorance. Sometimes it's just a matter of completely not knowing what's going on. But anytime somebody is supporting is not real, side eye. Can't do it. It's just not going to happen. So we do support liberation of all oppressed people. And we are anti-war. That is who we are to the core. So.
And apartheid.
Yeah. Yep.
Apartheid is fascism.
Absolutely. And people sometimes don't understand that. When you use certain words, it's just like I like to say this a lot. Communism is a red herring, and people don't understand what I mean when I say that. But everybody says, oh my gosh, if you do this, you're going to be a communist. If you do that, you're going to be a communist. Communism, communism, communism. Do you know what communism is, or are you just using it as a buzzword? Do you know what it actually means, or are you just using it as a buzzword? It is a fear tactic, and i.e. a red herring. Because if you actually knew what it was, you wouldn't be bothering with trying to do all that extra brain work. And that's why communism is a red herring to me. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. But um over here in the Green Party, eco-socialists, and proud of it. Very proud to be an eco-socialist because I understand that I want to leave this world better than it already is for future generations. And you can't do that if the first part, eco, if you're not taking care of the ecosystem, if you have so many animals and other things of nature going extinct because you're not caring for them. To that extent, that also means caring for and ensuring that the indigenous people of the land are allowed to be able to care for the land because they have been doing it for many, many, many years, millennia. And when we try to take over in certain areas, it ends up destroying what could have been saved. So, just like here in the United States, there are parts of national forest and things like that where the indigenous people should be allowed to go to in order to continue to help with the growth of the vegetation in the area. Because we find that sometimes if not, then certain things can grow here more or there more or less, and then certain animals are not getting the things and the nutrients that they need. So the indigenous people in any place are integral to that ecosystem. And that is something that a lot of people skimp over when we're talking about the ecosystem. The people whose hands have toiled that land for so many years, they would know exactly what was there because it's been passed down generation, generation, generation. So the indigenous people should have the ability to talk about those areas and talk about what native plants and what native things are there. Thank you so much. Um, so whenever that happens, we talk about um, the whole ecosystem, and it's a big, 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 big part of what we're doing. Like, even when you talk about the ecosystem, you have to talk about land back in there as well. You have to talk about how different things come up. So it is appreciated when we talk about that ecosystem. Hi, Polly.
Hey T. Hey Surviving. Hey Amanda. I'm no good, but I'm headed back to work in a minute. I just wanted to add to the conversation. So you're talking about indigenous rights. One part of the conversation I always like to add is when we talk about land back, the right to self-determination will supersede the support or no support for the formation of a state. So, like for the people of Palestine, if they wanted to form a state, while I may not support the state formation because the state is a colonial superstructure, I will support their right to do so because they believe that that is what is best, given the conditions that they're currently having to engage in, which would include colonial legitimacy.
I can see that. In Palestine, I tell this story sometimes, and it still resonates with me all the time, anytime I think about it. So my dad was born in 1934. He's since passed, but he was born in 1934. And mm, when he got older, he was very heavily into politics all the time. And whenever the um, topic of Palestine would come up, my dad would always say, I want Palestine to be like it was when I was born. Palestine was just Palestine when he was born. There was no anything else. Israel didn't exist. So my father's work, I carry over to my work because at the end of the day, um, that's really something to digest. You know, when you were a child, when you were born, this state didn't exist, and now this state, with all this military capability and all this power and these things like that, are here, whereas the indigenous are in basically, I can't say it because I know I got trapped in a live break one time, but open air clink clink basically. um so it really does hurt um a lot of people, a lot of people, especially indigenous people of any place. Australia, goodness gracious, we have so many indigenous people, hi Jen, that go through things, and that's why it's important for them to be able to um, thank you. I'm getting my hearts better, I believe. I promise. I'm trying. Um, that's why it's very important that we allow the indigenous peoples to go ahead and reroot these things in the soil, redo anything that needs to be done, because when it does happen, we're allowing them the opportunity to get back to um, what they have done for centuries with their from their ancestors, and it will make the earth better. That's why I said when you say eco, it's not just one thing. It's so many different things that go into the eco. And then you have socialist. That is not a bad word. I want people to understand that socialist is not a bad word. If you pay taxes, you're paying into socialist systems. It is what it is. People try not to say that thing, but the thing is, you're paying into very, very, very many socialist systems already without even thinking about it. Okay? Anytime that you pay, thank you so, so very much, Polly. Anytime that you are paying taxes for just state taxes, local taxes, federal taxes, if you wanted to look up what percentage goes to every place, you can definitely look it up, because it goes to food stamp programs, it goes to Medicare, it goes to Medicaid, it goes to WIC programs. All of those things get funded, and they don't get funded just by donations, they get funded through taxpayer dollars. You, I, me, us, we, taxpayers. That is a socialist system. Social Security, socialist system. So many things that you do. Driving down the road, oh my gosh, socialist system. Fish Story says those programs need to end at the federal level. Well, some of them, I could see that. And then some of them, thank you so much, Jen. And then some of them, I'm like, you know, it's a give and a pull. Woohoo! Thank you, Jen. It's a give and a pull because some of them being at the federal level allows more money to be given to some things, and then some of them don't. So Fish Story says no one needs money for not working. Well, people who don't work sometimes have disabilities that make them unable to work, and they were born with those disabilities. So if that is the case, they do still deserve to be taken care of. And that is why we have socialist systems, to be able to take care of the people. My thing is, I think the socialist system needs to be bigger and better, because I would like to see something such as universal health care and a universal basic income. That is a part of the Green Party story. So Fish Story says they can do something. Well, Fish Stories, I can definitely tell you there are some people uh, who cannot do anything. And thank you, legal. Um, Working within the disability realm, there are people who absolutely cannot do anything. There are people who are just there in the mind but have no presence of body. Um, so saying that they can do something is really not something that I would agree with, because that's not true. Healthcare is not a human right, says Fish Stories. If they can't do anything, then they should not exist. Yeah, you can handle that one. Good job surviving. Thank you. Yes, definitely eugenics, and definitely something that I would never, ever, 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 ever wander into. Um, I know that Imani talks about that a lot. How, with everything that's going on, Imani Barbarin, sorry, she goes by Crutches and Spice. She talks about how this is the exact same thing that people do. They basically take the disabled people off the table, and say, nope, if you can't do anything, you don't deserve to be here. And when we're talking about smortion, those things are so horrible. I saw where one lady had a disability, and she said that someone came up to her as they were pregnant, and they asked her if they should keep the baby because the baby would be disabled. And she was, a young child. And I thought how heartbreaking that would be for anybody to have that conversation as a grown up or as a child. You are a disabled person, and someone comes up to you and they're just like, should I have my child? That's just like saying, should you exist? And that could be a hurtful thing to do. So I don't. That is very much eugenics. Um, Everybody does have a right to health care, because we're human beings, and we should definitely be able to live, as I'd say. Um, and if you can't do that, then what are we supposed to do? I wouldn't know anything else. If you really can't, just there are basic things. Yes, we need food, we need water, clothing, and housing. But in this capitalist system that we have, because we're all in this capitalist system, whether or not we want to be, we are all in this capitalist system. So if we're all here, I think we're going to need to be mentally and physically able to do certain things. And if we're not, we have the different systems in place to be able to help us. That's just a 100%. We just need to do those types of things. And we're a developed country. We are a developed country. And I'm going to air quote that slowly because there are too many people, like Mando was saying, and I know others who are definitely doing the same thing. Thank you so much, Surviving. They are they're living that paycheck to paycheck life. So am I. We're all doing this rat race to try to get to where we need to go. And the capitalist system is just like, no. And I saw something the other day that said, you are much closer to being homeless than you are to being a billionaire. So why are you rooting for the billionaires? And that stuck with me because, well, A, I wasn't going to root for a billionaire anyway, but I was like, um, one car mishap, one, missed day at work. There are so many elements that can really take you to the brink of being homeless, but you don't have that many routes, except for probably playing the lottery, to become a billionaire. So it kind of just stood out very bad in my mind. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is such a reality right now. You can have businesses on top of businesses and you could still not make it. But that is a part of what the Green Party wants us to be able to fight back against, because we don't need a government that is not going to be here for the people. The government needs us, okay? The government needs us for tax purposes. The government needs us for workmanship. The government needs us for a lot of different things. It needs us to actually govern. So if the government needs us, then they need us to be healthy. They need us to be employed. They can't lock all of us up for being homeless or anything else. So there has to be somebody doing the work because they need the tax money. Or either they don't have the tax money, where are they going to do everything at? So it is kind of like a cycle of a narcissistic relationship with the people in the government. And the way to break that narcissistic relationship is to get out of it. Once you see that there is nothing helping you, and literally there is nothing from the Uniparty that has been helping the people. And a lot of folks are beginning to see that. They're getting upset. They're saying, hey, whoa, 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 I don't want to do this anymore. And that's wonderful. It's commendable. So the Green Party has been here. And not only that, there are other parties that have been here as well. Serpentine Bird Stone says the human race has been enslaved. Now we're too beat down to work. It is I can't argue much with that, is because it is a real thing. We've been taught to work more than we've been taught to play. We've been taught to work more than we've been taught to communicate with each other. Basically, we go through school and all they do is prepare us for a job and something that's going to contribute to society versus how we can be amongst community. And that needs to change as well. That part of the educational system. And Green Party does agree with having a 4-day work week and still getting the same amount of pay as a 5-day work week. Do you know what some people could do with an extra day if they didn't have to go to work? It would be so much better. You would have that time and not feel rushed. Oh my gosh, I have to do this and that. You would already know what you're doing during that time. Um, so you would feel better about things. You can actually have a day of rest. If you had 2 days to run around and then you had a day of rest, you could do that. And then think about not having to take off work because of a doctor's appointment or something like that, because you already knew what day you were going to have off and you can, go to the doctor on that day. So many people lose their jobs because of having different things that are going on, and they don't have enough time off and this, that, and the third. Well, now they would have that. Plus, we're talking about the universal basic income, where you're not scared every month of, not having any money. You have something, and then you can go on and do something more. But housing right now is a crisis. And the thing about being houseless that is so bad is if you had an eviction, it is so hard to fight to get out of it and then get another place. And it's just like a trap. It's a societal trap. When there are other ways things can be done, and other resources that can be utilized, but we're not doing so. We're not feeding into that funding part of the American people. There are more empty houses than there are homeless people in America. So what are we doing? What are we doing to take care of that? If we could be sending money to Is Not Real for them to have free healthcare, for them to have free higher education, why don't we have it? We are the Americans. We are the ones that are footing that bill. So you can't tell me that if they found a way to do that, we can't. And that's what bothers people a lot. We have talked about how Is Not Real has done so many things to us, from the USS Liberty. Some people are even saying that ISIS is a branch of the Mossad. And they are saying that all of these things that are happening are from Is Not Real to bolster fear amongst the Americans of any Arab and Muslim nations or things like that. But this is not, 10, 20 years ago, when we didn't have access to things online. We can see now. People are showing us now. We have knowledge now that we didn't have before, and that's what they don't like. To be honest, they don't like that we have this knowledge now. They don't like that we can see through it all now, and people are actually paying attention. But we need to go a step further than paying attention, because we need to go ahead and let the Uniparty, which is the Democrats and Republicans, let them join each other. Let them fight amongst each other, because they are the same party. Whether you like the statement or not, Democrats and Republicans are the same party. The Republicans just do stuff. They say what they're going to say. They do it right in front of your face. Bam. The Democrats, they say, hey, we're going to do all this, while they're stabbing you in the back. So, it doesn't make sense for us to think of them as anything else. I will probably say, oh, absolutely, Mr. Robin, go ahead.
So, one thing that's not really talked about with UBI is if we have a basic income that covers our rent and basic needs, that means workers' rights are only going to get improved, because if we're not having to worry about our day to day and we're working for our extras and what we want in life, we have more power at the negotiation table now, because we're equals. I don't have to worry about my day to day. You don't have to worry about your day to day either with your profits. Like, so give me what I'm worth so that we can both be satisfied here.
Yeah, absolutely. And more unions, the better, and more peace of mind, knowing that you don't have to worry about those things. So when you're going to work, you can go to work and not be so worried about everything. Stella said someone was saying the next phase of America is socialism, period. It should be. It very well should be. And I hope that it is. But we have to realize that there are socialist systems already set in place, but people just don't want to say the word. And so that's the crazy part. Like, people just don't want to say the word, and they should. Uh,
I'm seeing people want to more and more. Like there was the silly thing where Denmark said that they were going to buy us, and everybody was like, "Yeah, buy us." And I don't think they meant it, but I did see quite a bit of support for the hypothetical where they did. You know, I think a lot of people do want. So I mean, I don't even think it's whether or not we want socialism that's keeping us from it. We still have to be able to shift the system into that, which is then becomes the hard part, you know, because we want it.
yeah. Oh yeah, we want it,
Right.
and we halfway have it. Go ahead, Survivor.
Yeah, and that's going to be part of our battle, is like educating the truth about socialism. We also have to look at it this way. The average American is coming into this looking at it as there's only two boxes on the political system, left and right. So they're like, oh, if we're not in the right box, that means we're in dictatorship, communist, whatever they want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have to educate that there's actually the four boxes. And I'm not saying we like lean into that too heavily, obviously, but like we have to include that, like it is a different spectrum than what we are taught. And that's going to be a lot of where people are like, oh, holy cow, and then they're going to be more open to looking at the socialist aspect and being willing to be educated on that.
Absolutely. And Jay Fitz said, imagine how much better humanity could be when you didn't have to worry about just surviving. Stella said, this is such a high bar to cross with people. People are literally afraid to think about anything besides two parties. Right. And so here's the thing. Uh, we went to go see, me and my family and um, the theater group, we went to go see Hamilton the other day. And when we were watching it, they were talking about how they created the two-party system. And they were talking about the Southern Democratic Republicans and all these things. And I was just like, we have had so many parties. I remember the Whig Party and things like that. And there have been more than two parties at points in times in history. And they were major parties, not just the two that we have today. So I think, and somebody said it before. I think it was, I want to go back so I can get the name right. Um, Serpentine Birdstone. Um, we have been worked so hard and beat down so hard that we are just like, "Ugh, I can't, what am I supposed to do?" But that's when we, some of the people who are trying to go outside of the norm, we rally and we say, hey, look, there are other options out there. And look at what we're doing. We're trying to lead the charge to get these changes happening. Do you want to have these things for yourself? And like the other person was saying, they don't believe that healthcare should be a human right. Well, it's their opinion that healthcare shouldn't be a human right. However, I don't think that anyone who would basically is born, didn't ask to be here, shouldn't be taken care of. That's just how it should be. You're getting food, water, clothing, and shelter. Healthcare is healthcare because we all need that. That is a need. It is not a want. Just like I don't think that glasses and eye care and dental care should be separate from your health insurance, because if I can't see, you are making me pay for a separate insurance just to be able to see. And a separate insurance just for me to be able. Do you know how bad things can go in your body when you don't take care of a dental issue? So it says that's not up to them. That's the thing. That's the purpose of governance. That's not up to corporations. Yes. And I would love to take insurance out of the hands of corporations and put it in the hands of a doctor reviewed governance with the people. And I say that because when we heard about Blue Cross and Blue Shield saying that they're only going to cover this amount of anesthesia and you would have to cover the rest if something were to happen and make the surgery go on longer. Now, they did rescind that one, and I think we all know why. But the issue with that is, where was the doctor that was telling y'all this information? Where's the overboard, over review, or whatever? Because something happened to make this a corporate decision versus a doctor patient decision. Because there's no way you could tell a doctor you have to have this done in a certain amount of time. You don't know what could happen in the surgery. You don't know what complications could be. They could get in there, find something else, and have to do something else, and all types of things can happen. And now you're putting pressure on the doctor to perform in a specific amount of time, and more mistakes can be made. So if more mistakes are made, how is that better for the patient? Even how is that better for the insurance company when now you're going to have to keep paying for that mistake? Then we start talking about other things. So I just talked about insurance, and I think that we talked about it the other day, that doctors being insured, that's great. They should be, because they hold our lives in their hands, literally. And police officers or any law enforcement officer should also have to be insured, because taxpayers should not have to pay the burden of what an individual decided to do on their own. That is unfair to everyone. So we're talking about where our tax money goes. It is a socialist system. It really is a socialist system, and people are just not feeling the burn of it because they don't know what it really is. But we're paying so much from our taxes for so many different things. It's just like, I didn't have anything to do with that. So why are my taxes going up? And then we talked about with inflation, caught the grocery stores putting up prices for things, and the grocery stores haven't changed the pricing at all. haven't changed the pricing, but they're going to pay the fine. And so they're probably going to pay the fine by continuing gouging us with the prices so they can pay the fine because nothing else is going to happen. Stella says it is. We pay for everything. Who paid for the AG industry for Trump's retaliatory terrorists? Oh my gosh, you're right. It's getting to the point where you're just like, what don't we pay for? What don't we pay for? So if we're paying for everything out of our taxes, state, local, city, federal, everywhere, you go to the grocery store and you're paying taxes. Like, why am I paying taxes at grocery store when I've already been taxed on the money that I got when I got my paycheck? Everything you do, anytime you spend money, you're taxed. This money has already been taxed. Why is it being taxed in? It's a crazy system, but it is there. Serpentine says the super rich decide what we get. It feels like government is not in charge of anything. That is also true. So here's the thing my sister taught me about. When you go to places and they ask you to donate like $1 to this organization or, round up for this organization, she asked person, do they price match whatever donation they're getting? And they said no. So she decided not to donate because what they're essentially doing is taking the money from us to donate and using it as a tax write-off. But they're not contributing anything to it. I could just donate to that specific organization myself and get my own tax write-off versus letting them do it if they're not going to at least match the donation. So that's what I've been doing from now. Anytime I go to the grocery store or any type of food place or anything like that, I'm doing from now. Anytime I go to the grocery store or any type of food place or anything like that, I say no, thank you. If they say yes, I will give something. But so far, I have not seen one of them say yes. If they say yes, I will give something. But so far, I have not seen one of them say yes. Because that's what the super rich do. They not seen one of them say yes. Because that's what the super rich do. They buy all these things and they do all these things just so they can have a tax write-off. Oprah was a big person that did that. Survivor says the bank bailouts for corporate greed on housing. Oh gosh, that was horrible. That was so horrible. They can bail out the banks. They can bail out corporations. Why can't they bail out students for student loans? That was our tax money going towards these corporations. Corporations are not people. And we have to be there. These corporations wouldn't exist without us, but you can't help us. Stella says government is basically cleaning up the messes of corporate greed. And that is why the Uniparty has to go. We have to do things to let the Uniparty know we are no longer taking this. So the Green Party have to, any party, I don't care if you want to go to the Libertarian Party, I don't care what it is, but this Uniparty has to be destroyed because it cannot continue to exist the way that it is. Cosmo says because students don't donate to their campaigns. We have the very best government that money can buy. Yes, that is essentially what it is because AIPAC bought both sides of the aisle. They absolutely did. They're proud of it. And they start grooming these candidates very early on, like from high school. And when I found out about it, I was like, wow, high school? High school. They start looking at people and saying, yeah, I want you to do this because you want to be there. Yeah, I saw a video on it and they were proud of it. They were talking about Obama and everything. I was like, Obama? You could have told me back in 2008 anything bad about Obama. You couldn't say a word to me that Obama was bad. I wouldn't have listened. Would not have listened 100%. Now 2012. I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do, but sheesh. 2016 came around. I'm out. I'm out. Give me Jill Stein. I'm sorry. I can't take it. I can't take it. And that's really how it went. That's really how it went. And I have not been back yet. I was like, no, y'all are just 30 little flip floppers. Because we were promised to have Roe v. Wade codified during the Obama presidency. And the first 2 years he had total control of the House and Senate. And he could have codified it right in there. They could have done whatever they wanted to. No, they could have swept the board with everything that they wanted. That's why they use super PAC money. There's less rules. Yes. So there's a difference between a PAC and a super PAC. So PACs are mainly people donating with limits. Super PACs, corporations, people, whoever, they are donating and they don't have a limit. That is just the whole Citizens United, I think that was what it was, that made corporations people. Yeah, no. They're not people. We are the people. Now, I know when the Constitution was written, a lot of us were not considered people. However, we still are the people. The corporations are not the people. They are ran by people. And that's the difference. Stella says, yeah, I really can't believe I voted for Joe in 2020. I knew better. It was a hard time to think about a lot of people who were running and see what they were going to do. And, I don't think that any of us could have thought in 2020 that this would be going on. I don't think because we had a panorama. We had a panorama. And we have had so much going on for the past 4 years. It's just like, what more can we do? We're on the brink of WW3. China has been just enjoying giving us a light show, as has Russia. We've got all these drones everywhere. There was a case where people were saying there was fog all over the place and they've never seen that type of fog before. There's so much going on. And then I'm just going to say this is just my opinion. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Mask up when you go out. There's too many respiratory infections going on out here. If you don't mask up for yourself, mask up for people around you, because people with low immune systems, they can't take that stuff. And it's too much. Like, they don't know what it is. Whether it's the vid, whether it's bird flukes, whether it's whatever it is. No one knows. It's just you have to just go through it. And it's like now, if you have a cough, you don't know what to do. All the symptoms are like the same. And you could take a test one day and it's negative, and the next day is very, very positive. So you kind of feel like you're in a bad situation. Stella says, yes, I make my poor daughter mask at school too. She hadn't been sick all year. My boys, they weren't, But I told him when we get back to school, y'all put that mask on because mommy can't get sick. Okay, mommy doesn't have the strong immune system you all do. And they tried to take me out. Oh, the vid tried to take me out bad. So I'm still here and fighting though. It couldn't take me. But it does happen to us. So we need to share that. Jen said my son nearly passed away from norovirus a year and a half ago. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that. And these are the things we're talking about. And this is why specifically I say, let us go ahead and just remember the things that come from the disabled community. Hi, this is Dina, everybody. Dina, say hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Dina
I'm fine.
is one of our friends from Palestine, and she has children that she is taking care of. And whenever she comes in, I always want to bring her up. If you have any spare coins that you can gift her with, I would be appreciative, and I would thank you so, so very much. She is so sweet, and she's just always, there to give a kind word to anybody, and even through whatever she's going through. So, if you could just tap on her profile and just put some likes on her, that would be great. Anything that you can do, it would be very, very, very appreciated. So when we are talking about all the things that we have done so far and how we are going to get people to drop the uniparty and go to the socialist system, we have to think about our messaging. And when that messaging should start from people who are in marginalized spaces. And this is why I listen to Imani Barbarin so much, because she says, what is happening to the disabled community, you will soon see happening to you. And that has always rang true. And listening to the disabled community, because if we want to do anything, we can't leave them behind. They have to come with us. Yeah, Dina says situation is very difficult. My children need clothes. Yeah, I have heard that a lot, Dina, that people are needing clothing and blankets and things like that. Does anybody know Mamdouh Islam? Anybody? Dina, do you know Mamdouh? Uh, hmm, if somebody can check his profile or her profile, because I don't know them. I'm sorry. Um, so while that is happening, we're just gonna check your profile, Mamdouh. I'm sorry. Um, but we are having to see what's going on in the disabled community, listen to their voices, and help them on a better path. I follow, so it's got to be one of our lives. Okay. All right. Okay. So Mamdouh is also here. If you have any spare coins to give as well. So they've apparently been to a lot that we've been to before. So he might have been with Salah earlier. Okay. Yeah, all right. So Yes, we like to verify everybody some type of way. So I, we always understand that things can happen, but we do want to always verify some type of way, um, just to be sure everybody is going to the right places. Um, so, but thank you so much for requesting, so we can get you some help as much as possible. Not a lot of people, but we do want to help as much as possible. Um, we have talked about the disabled community so many times and what they're going to need. Um, so, in terms of that, that's where the socialist system kind of needs to be talked about at in those disabled spaces, because disabled people, you may not see the mental disabilities or the physical disabilities specifically, but there are a lot of disabled people. And like I was saying earlier, with the pregnant mom who was asking a disabled child, should she keep the baby? You know, when you see people talk about schmortion, um, that is one of the conversations that they have with those people, because they feel like you would know better if you like your life the way it is or things like that. But they don't think about how that question is affecting them at that time. So it's it kind of it rattles them. And I would be rattled too if somebody came up to me and asked me that kind of question. Um, People are people. Whether you're disabled or not, people are still people. And just like the guy who came in and he was talking about the eugenics part of things, people don't ask to be here, but we are here. So we do the best we can by our people. And what you would do for the least of us, you will do in kind to everyone else. It's kind of like the saying, treat the janitor the same way you would treat the CEO. But now people are saying, I would treat the janitor better than the CEO. So, and we should, in my opinion, we should be, because the janitor is doing more work. Absolutely. Thanks, Cosmo. The janitor is doing so much more work than the CEO. And we have to get out of the mindset that we can't make a change. Don't forget about the toilet earlier. Oh yeah, I would never get to. The thing that matters is, Stella says, the thing that matters is if you can get access to services or treatment, ask the wrong question. Yes. Yeah. Yes, because with the people who are doing the work, it's like we sometimes forget that we are fighting amongst ourselves when there are other people we can be fighting to get things to go better. Like if you go out to a restaurant and that waiter or waitress is not very happy that day, they might be thinking about the fact that they only get, $2.75 an hour and the tips that they're going to make, and it's not the best thing for them. Um, and then, somebody will come behind them and say, well, why did you get a tipping job when you knew you weren't going to make a lot of money, blah blah blah. You don't know their situation, you don't know what's going on, but no one is putting the onus on the restaurant to pay a living wage for their people, instead of putting the cost of their time onto the customers.
I kind of want to like using that example. This is making me think of something that I'm seeing locally. So I don't know if you've ever used that app Nextdoor, but it's something that I've been on recently again, and it's a very different area here from where I was before. It's a much older population so far as I can see. I mean, all of Florida's, aged, but even more so. And I saw a post by a woman the other day, and I don't know the context of it. She was noting that she had taken in a disabled man. She didn't really give like her relationship to this person, but said that she had brought this man into her home and noted that he was unable to take care of himself. And not till the bottom of the post did she note that he was autistic and had intellectual disabilities. But in the beginning of the post, she said that he was like engaging in some behaviors that she didn't find to be safe around her children. Now, again, none of this was very specific, so I don't know what she means, but I have an idea, being the fact that I have autistic sons myself. Now, the comments were really like, and I can understand that. I want to put out there that I understand that not everybody has the means to take care of a person with disabilities. Depending on, especially if you're not related to that person, I understand what that can entail. That being said, the comments were so disheartening because really the issue isn't whether or not that family was able to take care of this disabled person. The problem was that when she brought this man to a home to have him taken, like to make sure he had the right care, they were fighting with her and trying to threaten her so that she would take him back. Now that I find to be an issue, but the problem isn't whether or not she could take care of this man. It's that nobody wanted to. And there was one comment in the comment section that particularly upset me, which was, well, hopefully he'll just go back to the streets where he belongs. And I about fought with this woman on Nextdoor. I really did. I about fought with her because especially having an autistic son myself, like that really upset me. So instead of like taking this out on the system not having the proper programs, instead of making it, trying to pull together weight as a community and say, what can we do with this population of people? How can we help them? It was, how can we get rid of them? And that was genuinely the sentiment. And I think that is something that we need to do more about. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do later is but you asked what we were doing in the community. Now that I'm thinking about that app, somebody was talking about starting a community garden. I think I'm also going to go on there and start talking with people about what we can do for our disabled community here, because I think that is very important. And I do think we're not putting enough onus on the state or on ourselves as a community to take care of our people. No individual family should have to do that because it's not easy for any individual family. You have that's a community project, so to speak.
Right.
Sorry, I just got real passionate about that. That made me so upset yesterday. I can't even express to you how I was like in tears. I was so mad.
No, I understand. I was in shock when you were saying it, and it's hard to believe. I see so many places where people with disabilities are treated so well. They are like treated with respect. They are treated with dignity because of, they feel like they are a blessing to them and things of that nature. And then you get to other places and they're like the blight of society. And you're like, how does that happen? What's going on where we can't do the thing to make sure that we're all okay? Jen says people are unbelievably comfortable saying really ableist, disgusting things. It makes me mad too. Absolutely. Cosmo is over here doing the most right now. I just wanted to give a big W to Cosmo. Survivor says we need to get back to having community centers with social programs, more open gym for kids and teens. Survivor, you could not be more right about that. I think closing all those things, it really was detriment to society. And, when you have the ability to open things like that, we we flourish. And changing our educational system, I'm sorry, I'm going to continue to say it every single time. By the time they get to middle school, after that high school, they need to be doing something else because you just really learn the same thing you learn from kindergarten to middle school already. This is something I feel I need to be doing to a lot more. Yeah. a lot more work with the disabled communities. I like that Manda was talking about a community garden. That is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's something that, you know, let me see. There is
You'd be
this
surprised
thing.
at the
Go ahead, I'm
number of
sorry.
people that are interested in it too. The number of people that responded to that guy's post about the community garden. A lot of people need something to do. A lot of people want connection.
Yeah. So there is this thing. It is called the Free Seed Project. If you are interested in getting seeds for yourself, it's a free seed project. And I think you can go to you can Google the Free Seed Project. Um, so I got them, and so you can see the envelope here, Free Seed Project. So it came with 12 bags, and I got carrots, basil mix, kale, red kale, black radish. I'm sorry. So carrots, basil mix, kale, radish, chives, arugula, turnips, dill, mustard greens, a flour mix, a herb mix, and bunching onion. And it told me how many seeds were in each bag. I can show you one of the bags. So this blue bag is the chives. There you go. So there are ways that you can have these things and not have to pay for them. If you have food stamps, you can actually buy seeds with food stamps, um, and you'll be able to use them. I might do a show during the growing season and show indoor planting because I do indoor planting. My son, my youngest son, actually loves tea. And so I bought him an arrow garden, and he makes his own tea leaves basically for whatever he wants whenever he decides to do so. Um, but we also do things indoors and outdoors. So um, it makes a difference for us to have that stuff going on. We just have to know where we can help. And having that community is great. Like we said, knowing your neighbors, having these survival plans. Maybe we'll have a um, gardening and survival talk too, because those are all the things that go in eco-socialism. Going back to bartering, not spending cash, but bartering. If you have some carrots and I have some cucumbers, let's switch. You know, um, anybody can do that. Even if you're in an apartment complex on a balcony, you can still do those things. And yes, the food prices in Gaza are very high. Mamdou was talking about it. We have seen them be very, very high. I think I was talking with a young lady earlier today, and she said it was $50 for chicken. And I was like, wow, $50 for chicken? Um, I didn't even know how to um, handle that. But it's just shocking how things are doing. Thank you so very much, Jen. And that's why, we don't give up on the things that we are doing. We realize that all oppression is connected. Um, so from Palestine to Congo, Sudan, Ethiopia, Tigray, Haiti, Turtle Island, Hawaii, all and more Puerto Rico, we have to continue to stand in solidarity with the people. Um, I'm gonna include Australia, and we have to be in solidarity with the people. Um, and we do that by talking. We do that by learning. Um, with Dina, we have talked through messages. We have talked through different lives. And so the situation with Dina, I'm just like, I know her right off the bat. I know what she's going through. She doesn't have to say much because I don't want her to have to repeat her trauma. Um, it's something that I feel she shouldn't have to do in order to be helped at this point in time. And I don't think Mamdouh should have to do it either. It's just verifying, yes, you are where you are, and that's about it. We know the stories, and if you want to tell them, please do, but I don't want to cause anybody more unjust harm than they are already having to deal with, because I know what that can be like. And it can be a situation where you get caught in tears and you can't do any more than just think about the future and what it holds. Like she said 2 months ago, and no flour, and he says we're waiting for assistance from the United Nations. What we can do, is organize and push. So all of the events that I talked about in North Carolina, um, those are events that we are doing to push that information out. Um, like I said, the book sale and the authors reading, the concert and art making, the work for liberation, and the inaugural Roots of Resilience banquet. So we also have the January 20th. So you want to move back? Yeah, it's pretty cool here sometimes. It really is. So that's why I want to see what others are doing where they are, because I know we have some Sudan and Congo events before, um, and those were lovely. And I continue to want to reach out and do things. Um, and that's right around the corner from where I live. Oh gosh. Oh, cool. More than 100 martyrs from our family. I'm so sorry. So we try to get the word out, spread the word in the best way possible. I have seen people do a post every day just talking about it. I have seen people just like, share, and comment on other people's stuff and add it to their story. Sometimes you don't think that the smallest thing you do can make a difference, but it actually can. And it's the same with the Green Party. We are more word of mouth than anything else. Because who's going to Google Green Party if they've never heard it before? No one. But sometimes you'll see it in the mail. I mean, not in the mail, on the news, or you might see something somewhere else. And when you see it, you might Google it. Most of the time, it is word of mouth that you realize about the Green Party. And we have to do that work to get that information out. Jen says, everyone here, please feel free to tag me in any videos you need shared. Absolutely. Do the same for me as well. If you're having an event in your city, go ahead and tag me into the video, and I'd be more than happy to share. And I'll even try to make posts sometimes on those videos as well, because it's important that we get this information out there. And we continue to do so every single day. There are plenty of things going on. I think one time I went to Washington, and It was for I've been watching like 4 times last year. 3 times for Palestine and 1 time for Sudan. Thank you, Dina. Um, so oh yes, anyone trying to get more involved, reach out and learn about GPS. Yes, so there is the Green Party support. Yeah, it's Green Party support. And you can find them on TikTok and be able to get in touch with us that way. So it's GPS. We help you navigate things in the Green Party sphere so that you can learn more about things. There are lots of people out there um, that are affiliated or helping with. So you'll be able to see those people doing different things, just like anytime that we have videos, I mean, lives, most of the time we'll try to help people out, but we do have people who do lives specifically just to help families out. Even if you aren't Green Party but want to help build change, reach out as well. Absolutely. Because some people might be apprehensive. Some people might think that, you have to be Green Party to do these things. You don't have to be Green Party to do these things, just like you don't have to be Green Party to be a great human being. You don't have to do anything to be a great human being with just being a great human being. But if you're wanting to do more, get involved more, we would love to help you out on that journey because it's important to see how far and how fast you can get these things up and running. Everybody has unique talents. Everybody has a unique spot where they can do certain things that other people can't do. Like for instance, I'm not really good at posting social media all the time because I don't really do it. However, with the help of my wonderful friends and mutuals and GPS and GPAC, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. And as nervous as I may be, I know that it's helping people. Oh, I hate to hear that. And we are wishing for a ceasefire and peace for you and everyone in Palestine. I am so sorry. I see the words and I don't want to say them aloud only because I believe in intentions and I want things to be better. I do watch everything. We pray for the full liberation of Palestine in a timely manner. Absolutely. We do. Oh, yes. Peace be upon you. Absolutely. We wish to see liberation and free Palestine, period. Yes, absolutely. Um, I think a lot of people came into the fold of the Green Party after realizing that the Uniparty wasn't going to help anybody. And they haven't, and they won't. So, coming to that realization, a lot of people were like, I can't consciously, with the good conscience, decide for that party or the other party. I need another home. And some people found the Green Party as a home. Some people are still looking for a home. But I tell anybody that asks, look at the information, see if it's something that you would like, and then make your decision. If you go to the tree of links in my bio, you will see a page where it will tell you exactly It has like four little corners, and it tells you where the Democrats and the Republicans and the Libertarians and the Greens are at. And when you see it, you can look and see, okay, well, what do I like? Where do I stand? Am I over here or am I a little over there? And that's why I just say, okay, whichever ones you agree with more, maybe you should go in that direction. I don't argue with people about their politics because some people are reluctant to change. And if you're reluctant to change, there is not much that I'm going to be able to say, but capitalism will tell you. That is how I truly feel. I don't think that I have to poke at anybody or do anything to anybody to make them change their mind. At some point in time, capitalism will show them that they need change. And once capitalism shows them that they need change, then they'll be ready to have the conversation. Survivor says it's a great tool to get basic idea of where you stand. It is. It really is. And it's really easy. It only takes a couple of seconds. So the most important thing is understanding that take for example the Amazon Teamsters. Okay, they are asking for specific things. They are doing specific things to get that. Do you stand with them or do you cross that line? When you say, okay, I'm going to stand with them, you have now made a conscious decision to do greater things. When you say, no, that's none of my business, capitalism will get you in another way. Because denying someone the humanity of being at work and treated in a humane fashion, you are going to absolutely feel that in another form of capitalism, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck in a state where it is an at-will state. At will meaning that your employer can fire you at will with no cause. So when I say capitalism will get you worse than I ever can, it is always the truth. It is always the truth. Capitalism will catch up to you, and I don't have to do the arguing. So I don't. I hope that other people understand that as well. Yes. I know you probably had the most beautiful life. I've seen pictures of what it looked like before in Palestine. So we have to understand arguing to get people to see the point that we need is not always the best. You know, if somebody likes to do so, that is fine, completely fine. However, I'm of the mindset that I myself am a little bit too seasoned in age to argue with anybody over anything. I'm going to give you the information and let the chips fall where they may. Because capitalism will get you in the end. That's all. That's all it is. If you don't like it, I can't help you. If you don't want to change it, you are complicit in the system. So you are not for me. Why argue about it? Free Palestine. Absolutely. So, Surviving, do you have any words that you want to say this evening?
No, I'm kind of kind of fried. I've had a kind of a long week, so just been kind of just enjoying listening and adding a little bit here and there in the comments. I appreciate you having me up like always.
Thanks for always being here. It really is a pleasure to have you here and always supporting. It means a lot.
Yeah, I got you. We're a
Amanda,
team.
Amanda, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, thanks for letting me up. Have an amazing night.
You're welcome. Thank you. Jen says, yes, I can afford no attention or energy to those who are bigoted or have no empathy. Absolutely. It's a circle, and alaikum salam. You just like it comes to a point where when you realize what eco-socialism is, when you realize what anti-raw, because I said the other word before, when you realize what being a peaceful party means, you don't want to be in a place where you're not at peace. So why put yourself in that position? And I don't. And sometimes other people might need that, and that's fine. I'm not saying anything against anybody for it, but I just can't do it. It's too much. Um, Thank you, Surviving, Amanda, and Dina, and Mamdu. Yes, thank you all for being here, and Stella, and Jen, and Cosmo, and Japheth. Guys are amazing. You guys like hold me down all the time. It's so wonderful, and I thank you all so very much. It's always a pleasure. Yes. Big W to Cosmo. Love your show and all that you do. I learn so much every time I join in. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, Stellar. Guys, you guys have yes, W panel, W gets the W chat. Always doing just the most to be here and help me out and talk about these things and making the videos to do different things. So video challenge 2025. Thought I was gonna forget, but I didn't. Okay, so what is our video challenge for the next 2 weeks? If you have an event in your area, make a video about it so that we can spread that information. That is our video challenge, because we need people to get out there and get excited about what we're doing. If you're just having a Zoom meeting, make a video about it, tell them to contact you so you can, get them to where they need to be. Whatever the case may be, let's get the Green Party and everything that we're doing into the social media stratosphere, at least before January 19th, when this whole castle could fall down. But we want to make the videos. We want to share the videos. We want to know what's going on in your area. So I'm going to be making a video about all these things that are going on so people will know. And I want you all to make a video about what's going on in your area so that I can, either duet it or stitch it or put it on a story or something. Are you finding difficulty with communicating with my guys, people? Okay, he's talking to Survivor. So with that being said, there are lots of things that might be going on that aren't just Green Party supported, that might be other organizations supported, like for Sudan, Congo, Palestine, Haiti, anywhere. So if you see it, even though it's not Green Party supported, but if it is supporting an oppressed people, then we need to know. If yeah, you can just tag me if you want to at Green Party Tea, and that will be fine. I will do not mind being tagged in any video. Tag me, tag me, tag me, and let's get that taken care of. Okay, okay. I love the word Habibi. I, it's just so peaceful. It is a very peaceful word, Habibi. Um, but so I'm just gonna reiterate our challenge. Um, challenge is to make a video about any events that you have going on in your area for any marginalized people or any Green Party events that you have going on together in your area, such as membership meetings or any of that kind of stuff. Tag me in it. Let's show out. Let's do hashtag Green Party Action. Or I don't know. What kind of hashtag would you guys like to do for this one? Anybody got a good hashtag?
We could do hashtag local initiatives.
Hashtag local initiatives. I like it. All right. So hashtag local initiatives whenever you do the video so we can keep track of what's going on. Hashtag local initiatives. Oh, community. Green Party Action, local initiatives. Yeah. Do all of those. Because that's great. So local initiatives, Green Party Action, community, do all three. And then the FYP. Woo! I'm not sure, but I think we'll all get it right when it comes up. I think we will because we're all great. And since somebody will come up and put it up there anyway, you might see it. So hopefully we're all spelling it right and doing all the things. I usually, when I'm doing my hashtags, I'll separate the words to make sure I got it spelled correctly. And then I'll put them back together. Because, yeah. Not always the best at spelling some things. My mind is like, I don't know what that word is. So it's funny to see. However, stranger things. So we've got our social initiative. What was it? Hold on, let me make sure I got all the hashtags. All right, so local initiatives, Green Party Action, and community. Hashtag local initiatives. Hashtag Green Party Action. Hashtag community. And let me see. Do I need to write that down? I might want to write that down just so I can do it. Hashtag local initiatives so I can make a video about it. Hashtag Green Party Action. And then hashtag community. Alrighty. Whoop, whoop. So, we are gonna have that done, and if you're doing anything, take pictures. You can make a video, whatever the case may be, and we're gonna support because that's what we need to do. We're gonna support each other. We're going to give those shout outs to each other and let other people know what is going on, because putting that information out there about what the Green Party means and what it stands for is great, but also getting together and actually doing the work is what we need to do. Boots on the ground, or in your house on a Zoom call, wherever it happens. This is what we truly want to see the just initiatives going to. So let's work on those things to get that taken care of. And just another reminder, I appreciate each and every single one of you for being here, for gifting our panelists who are in Palestine and are in need of dire help. Thank you all for what you have done. All the gifts that I am gifted go right back to all the families because I do not cash out any of them. I go to lives such as Justin and Lauren or Barefoot Islander, And sometimes Salah's live, depends on who's, available at the time. And I will definitely give to families accordingly. So I do thank you all for everything, coming out, listening, and being a part of this, because, hey, we need to get information, and I got the tea, so I'm going to spill it for you. Alrighty. Other than that, I am going to shut it down for the evening because it's about that time for us to relax and unwind. And again, I want to thank you and say good night to all of you. And I will see you next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Good night. Good night. Goodbye.
Night, everyone.
Thanks.
You're so very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.